Hey guys, what's up? So, I know by the title this is not one of my normal videos, but I just wanted to make this video because of my day job stuff that's going on. I've been furloughed for quite a few months now, and I started driving Uber in the meantime to make some extra money and try to pay my bills while I'm waiting to be called back to my company. If you follow my blog or if you're on my mailing list through my website, I sent out a new blog update a couple of weeks ago and explained that to everyone because I hadn't done an update in a few months. So anyway, of course, when I started to do Uber, the first thing I did was I went on YouTube and I looked it up, and I found one guy that has a bunch of videos and he talks a lot. He doesn't really give you any information. So I wanted to try to do this video. I've been driving Uber for almost a month now, and I wanted to do this video to kind of explain how Uber works, how you get paid, if it's worth it or not for you to do Uber, or if it's something that you'll even be interested in. So I'm going to go over some screenshots and stuff from the Uber to kind of explain how it works and how much you can expect to make, and then talk about it a little bit more, and then we'll go from there. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll get right to it. Alright, so this is the first screen that I wanted to show. Now when you download the app and you start driving with Uber, you get different notifications and whatnot, and things that are worth spending your time on and things that are not worth spending your time on is what this is going to be talking about. So you get these notifications quite often, and it'll be a little, a lightning bolt arrow that looks like this, and basically what they're trying to say is there's more requests than usual in this area. So if you click the bottom here, it'll actually give you directions to drive to that point. I wouldn't bother wasting your time with this because more requests than usual could mean there's 2 requests that are in that area and they could have already been picked up. So the way that Uber works is when somebody requests a ride, which I'm sure a lot of you are probably familiar with this, it basically goes to whoever the closest Uber driver is. If you're in an area that has a lot of drivers, then unless you're close, you're not going to get the call. If you're in an area that doesn't have as many drivers, then you have a better chance of getting the call. The next thing that I wanted to show was promotions. So basically what these are is, as you can read what it says, between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Wednesday, this was from last week, the 20th of February, you get basically $2 extra per ride if you pick up within this map. So the map will usually be an area close to where you live, which I live in Huntington Beach, so you can see that it's Huntington Beach, Newport, and kind of the John Wayne Airport area. So the way that these promotions work is if you pick up somebody in this area, it doesn't matter if you drive out of the area, as long as they're in the area, then you get an extra $2 for this particular one on top of whatever the ride ends up being. So, and then these promotions will pop up. You can see I have there were a couple on that day that they were on. Actually, this was Thursday, this was Wednesday. But sometimes there's multiple ones throughout the day. Sometimes there will be ones that will be stacked. So it'll be 5 to 6 will be $2, 6 to 7 will be $1 extra, 7 to 8 it'll be $1 extra. It just depends. You got to check your promotions tab. So the next thing I wanted to show was surge rates. So this is basically, I zoomed out. This is the Los Angeles area, Long Beach area, South Bay, LAX. This is John Wayne over here, or Long Beach Airport over here. And basically the way that surges work is they'll show up as kind of orange blobs on your map. I zoomed out, so this one's just showing what the surge rates are. But as you can see, 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, 1.8, 1.7. So basically what that is on the map, if you zoom into that area, it'll have a kind of orange highlighted area, or if it's at night, it'll be like a purple because it switches to night mode. And basically if you pick up someone in that area, then your rate will be 1.5 times per, what it normally is, or 1.8 times. So pretty self-explanatory. The thing with surges is if you're not in the area, or you're not extremely close to the area, it's not worth it trying to drive, because this is a large area here. You're talking from Long Beach to Los Angeles. This is probably a good 20-25 mile area, and then beyond. Most of the time, if you try to drive to a surge area, it'll be gone by the time you get there. Because if you watch on the map, you'll see the surge areas will kind of grow or shrink depending on the demand. This is good if you're close to it, but if you're too far away, I wouldn't bother with it. And then the next thing I wanted to show was going to be how the rates are broken down. So this was a trip that I did. It ended up being a 34-minute, 18-second drive. It was 19 miles. I received $20. The way that it breaks down is here. So Uber takes the distance, which was 19.8 miles, times a certain amount. Now this amount will change. Right now it's 87 cents per mile. And then for your time, 34 minutes times, basically 11 cents. So these numbers will change depending on the time of day, if you're in a surge zone or not, and it will go, I've seen it, I think, as low as maybe 75 cents, and then 87 was actually fairly high, so this might have been a surge rate. But basically that's how Uber calculates what you earn for that trip. So this trip ended up being 34 minutes. I made $20. So if you average that out, that's close to $40 an hour. So, just under. But the thing that can be deceiving about this is you're driving 34 minutes out somewhere. So if you need to get back, that time is not covered. So if it takes you 34 minutes to get back, all of a sudden your hourly rate has dropped to below $20. So you can continue to get rides in the area where you're at, and then try to work your way back home or to your home area or where you usually drive. But those are things that you need to take in consideration if you're going to be driving. So if you want to look at, I think this is the same ride. You can see basically what the rider paid was $26, and then what you got was $20. So basically Uber took about $6.40 or 38 cents, something like that. And then what Uber gets also varies. It depends on the time of day, the trip, the minutes, the miles, all that. So their rate flexes, your rate flexes. All right. All right, so now I want to go over this. This is where you're going to figure out how much money you're going to make with Uber. So basically what I listed here, and these are going to vary on your situation and what you're doing, what you have. So for you to drive for Uber, you have to have a car that is 4 doors, and it has to be no older than 15 years, so newer than 15 years. Basically what you need to do is to figure out your situation. These are all just, general numbers in here. So if you have a car payment of $300 a month, let's say, you have insurance every month is $75, and then you got to put in an oil change, because you're going to need to do basically an oil change every month on your car, because you're going to be putting 4,000 to 5,000 miles per month on your car. So that totaled is going to be $425 per month. So what that breaks down to is $14.16 a day, and that's based on 30 days in the month, let's say. So if you only drive Monday through Friday, let's say, then you need to base this on 20 days out of the month. If you do drive weekends as well, or whatever your situation is, you adjust this number to find out what your per day cost is that includes all of these things up here. So gas per day is going to be around $30 depending on where you live. I put $30. I probably pay closer to $35, I think, is what I spend. I drive a RAV4, so it gets decent gas mileage, but it's not awesome gas mileage. So if you have a hybrid or an electric car, Priuses are pretty popular. You're not spending so much on gas. So this is going to need to be adjusted for yours as well. So basically what I did is I rounded this number and then what your gas is, and I said 45. So for me, this is probably closer to $45 or $50 per day. That's what it costs me to drive my car around. So basically what you need to do is you need to figure out the number of hours you need to drive, the number of trips, and then everything pops up on the app. It shows you, as soon as you drop off your rider, it shows you what your fare was, and then it gives you a total on the screen. So it's accumulating constantly on the screen. As you saw on some of my screenshots, there was an amount in the top. That's basically the amount of money that I earned that day. So if you want to make $100 a day, let's say, you need to get $150 in rides, or $145. So the thing that's great about Uber is you can turn it on and turn it off. So if you have kids and let's say you need to drop them off at school in the morning, you do that, then you turn the app on, you drive around for the day, and then you go and you pick them up in the afternoon, or whatever the situation is. Or if you want to, go eat lunch, or, if you have to run errands, you have a doctor's appointment, whatever it is. Basically, you just figure out how much you need to earn a day to make what you need to make. So that's where this number comes in. So we'll say $50. If I want to make $100 a day, then I need to do $150 in rides. But that's basically what the price breakdown is on this. So you got to take these things into consideration when you're driving, because if you have a car that's paid off, then you don't have this. Everyone is going to have insurance. Everyone's going to have to do maintenance on their car. Plus, over time, depending on how long you drive, if you're full-time, you're going to have to start to factor in tires into this, and if anything else happens to your car, regular wear and tear. Uber doesn't cover anything like that at all. You have no benefits from Uber, no medical, no nothing. You get nothing for your car. They don't take out taxes, so if you're going to drive Uber full-time, you need to take that into consideration as well. You need to put money away for taxes, otherwise at the end of the year when you do your taxes, you're going to probably be screwed. So these are all things that you need to think about when you're doing it. You need to figure out what your per day cost is depending on your car and the money it takes, and then go from there. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all the information that I wanted to give. Hopefully if you're thinking about driving Uber, you found this information helpful. It'll give you an idea kind of what you can earn with Uber. If you are working, a minimum wage job and you decide that you want to, work Uber, then you could probably definitely make more money. If you have a job, that you're making $25 or $30 an hour and you want to drive Uber, you're probably not going to make that much money. It varies, day to day. It depends on where you live. It depends on how many drivers are in the area. So I'm in Orange County, Los Angeles area, and there are a lot of Uber drivers in this area. So it actually works against me because there's so many Uber drivers that you don't get as many rides as you might think that you would. But don't get me wrong, I have some days where I'm getting riders before I even drop off the rider I'm getting a notification from my next rider. So times like that, it's good. I average 25 bucks an hour when that happens, but I've had days too where I'm driving around for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and no rides. So you have to pay attention to the areas that are busy for you and where you get riders, and try to stick to those areas. On slow days, I've made, $10 an hour average, which is not very good. So if you're going to do Uber full-time, then you need to think about these things, what your daily cost is to drive your car around, how much you're going to make, the area you're in, and the best that I could say is to just try it out. It's definitely would be great for extra money if you have a regular job, part-time job, full-time job, whatever it is, and you want to drive nights and weekends just to make extra money. It's definitely good for that. It's great for that, especially if your job has benefits and stuff. Then you don't have to worry about depending on Uber. If you're going to drive Uber full-time, then you need to, like California, it's required by law, you have to have medical insurance. So you have to, figure that out. A lot of people, especially out here, they will drive Lyft and Uber. And I'm not really sure how that works. I did pick up a woman, and she said that she drove for Uber and Lyft. And she said basically what happens is, for some reason or another, that at times when Uber is slow, Lyft seems to be busy. That's in this area. I don't know if it's like that everywhere. And the way it works, I guess, is people have both apps running. If they get a call on one app, they go offline on the other app. They do the ride, then they, when they drop off the driver, they turn the other app back on. So that's one way that you can do it. Uber limits the hours per day that you can drive. You can only drive 12 hours a day. I know that's a lot, but I'm sure some people hit the 12-hour mark. And basically you have to rest 6 hours in between to reset that clock. So if you were to drive from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, you'd have to rest for 6 hours before you could drive again. The app won't let you drive longer than 12 hours. I'm sure Lyft has something similar. They probably have a time limit. It might even be the same 12 hours. I don't know. So I hope you guys found this information useful. Another way that you can make money on Uber is by referrals. So if anybody's thinking about doing Uber and they found this information useful, then I will have my referral code in the link down below in the description for the video. And if you guys are going to drive Uber, good luck with it. I hope that you make some money and you do well. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks.